you've represented?
Literally 30 days ago for $640 million, pal. So don't be telling me about winning lawsuits.
How many lawsuits have you won against Diddy and Jay-Z? How many lawsuits have you won against Diddy and Jay-Z? One nothing.
Called him a knucklehead.
Yes. Yeah. So basically, Tony Buzzy was trying to make the point that the reason why none of his people that he represents did not get called is because the trafficking, like taking them from one place to another, didn't happen because everything he's alleging happened in New York, allegedly, and Vlad was not going.
I will say Vlad won that debate, at least from what I heard from that clip, because, Tony Buzzy started bringing up things that had nothing to do with what they were talking about. He brought up the fact that they secured $640 million for a Houston family, which is true, but that don't have anything to do with the cases with Jay-Z and Diddy.
But can I ask you a question? If you're my civil attorney and I hire you to do civil work for me to fight something in court, why are you doing interviews and talking before the court? Right? Does that make sense? Does that help with the civil case?
Maybe. I really don't know.
Because you got jurors. You guys got to get to court.
I'm confused.
You got public opinion too.
Yes, it doesn't make sense. Fight it in court.
I don't know how civil court works, but if you, I guess, can influence people in the court of public opinion, maybe. I don't know.
No, it's yours because you got to look at the facts as well.
So it's the same thing. So he's trying to influence the court of public opinion.
Yeah, but I just think I think. Yeah, like it's just a legitimacy conversation. That's what I took from it. I'm like, if this was my attorney, I don't want you on here arguing with nobody about nothing. Let's just get in court and do what we gonna do or whatever.
But I agree with Vlad though. I mean, you do so many cases that lead nowhere, and they sound like the nonsense and foolishness we be hearing. That does hurt your credibility.
Oh yeah, that Jay-Z situation definitely, I think, 100%, because people had something to point to. Even Diddy's team on the civil side had something to point to of like, okay, these things are crazy.
But it hurts his credibility to what, right? Let's be honest, because if somebody sues somebody and they're not charging you and they're only taking a percentage of what they get, who's going to stop going to them? Because if somebody who's suing somebody, they have nothing to lose. I don't have to put any money up. I can go to a lawyer. A lawyer's going to get 33% of whatever he makes, and I lose nothing.
Yeah.
If he gets even a little bit, I'm happy because there was nothing into it.
They don't tell the right stories. The actual stories are most of these cases go nowhere.
Correct.
Most of these civil cases go nowhere. Everybody is not Diddy. I keep saying that over and over. Everybody's not Diddy and Cassie. Okay? Most of these cases go nowhere. If y'all knew that, y'all stop wasting these lawyers' time.
Yeah, that is fact. Well, another back and forth online, or I don't even know who was it. Yeah, I guess you could call it back and forth. The Wale Casanat. Wale sat down with DJ Head and Gina Views on Effective Immediately.
Dropping the clues bombs for DJ Head and Gina Views, Effective Immediately.
Yes, this was a great interview. They talked about a ton of stuff. They also talked about Wale and, like, the conversation about him being a rapper's rapper and all the things. But he did get more into detail about the Kai Cenat situation. Let's take a listen.
Did you know that the streamers be mic'd up 24/7?
And the last place I thought it would be is like in this crowded little area.
Yeah.
One thing about me, I always introduce myself to people, even if they already know me. Like I'll be like, "Wow, like what's up?" I mean, we played in the game, celebrity game, like last year.
I saw that photo you posted.
Well, again, I'm sure he don't like be up playing Lotus Flower Bomb or like on chill, but he's a pillar in this new generation of hip hop. I had the game on. He's like, "Yeah, man, I beat you in this joint." Like, so I'm like, "Okay, you probably do remember me. It's cool." And I'm in the car and I'm just like, my phone, like, "Damn, this don't know who you are." Hey, and then I'm getting texts from people like, "Yo, then it's all good, bro. Don't worry about it." And now I'm in the room with all my peers. I seen him on the carpet, but I'm like, that's too much of a powerful little bubble right there of like energy that I don't really understand. So I waited and I saw Snoop, and I'm cool with Snoop. And I just walked over to him like, "Yo, I'm crazy, but let's talk later." We didn't talk later, but I think people ran with it for a story, whatever. But I just was confused.
Yeah. He was confused. I think he also said too, looking at it now, he wish he had just never said nothing.
Of course.
Yeah. Like 100%.
Yeah,
never said nothing.
Then he looked crazy twice when he came back. It was like, yo, it was looking crazy. Like the camera's still not on.
Yeah.
And the chat saw it twice.
I mean, Kai wasn't disrespectful. Kai just didn't know who he was, didn't remember who he was. There's many people I didn't work with, and if I run past him right now, I don't remember. It's not that I'm being disrespectful. I just don't remember. Right, Jess?
Yeah, yo, I don't know everybody, yo.
I can't believe we even still talking about this situation.
That's right.
But salute to Wale, salute to Kai, and I do want to drop on the clues bomb for Gina Views. Okay, Gina Views, that's one of my favorite new hip-hop personalities out here. Gina energy is infectious. You hear me?
When I tell you she ran down this interview, like the way Gina came with the songs,
hilarious.
the angles, the personality, she made Wale say, wow. Like, Gina is one of the ones. That's my sister.
I watch a lot of Effective Immediately. Salute to my guy DJ Head, sensible, honest, funny hip-hop takes. I love that show.
Dope. Nice. We ain't got time.
Yes, you do.
You
Go
just, okay. So another little situation, yo, was Kehlani and Krishan. Y'all saw it yesterday.
Yes.
Don't care if you didn't. Yo, it was crazy, right? Because so apparently, Kehlani was trying to get her to delete the tattoo off her face. Like, yo, get this tattoo off or whatever. Krishan said, like she wanted to, make me a better person. I wanted her to take me to the gym with her. So they started going to the gym. Later on, she realized that Blueface had smashed her or whatever. But she said Kehlani told her, like, yeah, she did smash Blueface. So when Blueface called her, because he's still in jail, she asked her. And she was right there with Kehlani. Went in the other room. They was in the gym. And she said, yo, you smashed Kehlani or whatever. And apparently he had confirmed that he did. Kehlani said none of that never happened. She never told Blueface. She never told Krishan that she smashed Blueface or nothing. It was just wild, like how they was going back and forth, but they started like to be friends. They was going to church together and the gym, and then out of nowhere,
That's all out the window.
it's an
That sounds like
accusation.
stunt behavior to me.
I mean, but Kehlani, she like the coochie now, so it's like, yo, this even if that did happen, that was probably like when she was a teenager and she was like in a pole, but now it's different.
Church in the gym, that's a stud starter day. Ain't it?
Yeah, church in the gym, yes.
I don't know why people didn't learn from that prayer
But
circle.
that's what Kehlani said. She was like, you know what? Look, yo, I'm done. I was just trying to be your friend or whatever because I didn't want to like assume what everybody else say for you to be crazy. And then this is where I learned my lesson. And so I don't know.
Well, it's good. It's good. It's good they got to this point before she started buying her oversized T-shirts. Because that's when the studs is going.
All right.
When the stud buys an oversized T-shirt, it's a real relationship.
Jerseys and Bluetooth.
You know what I'm saying?
You gotta go. That's the latest with Lauren. The mix is up next. Let's go.
Wake that ass up.
Earth in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Spawnwave may have abandoned you with video game news today because he decided to go to the beach with his family. But you know who didn't abandon you? Me. So hit that subscribe button if you're new because we got some stuff I want to talk about today, including that good old July Nintendo Direct. But first, I got a little bone to pick with a company here, and that company is 2K because
fun. Sorry. I got like 3 minutes left. Yeah, I've been having fun on Cyberpunk. Nigga, my whole build. I don't even use grenades and shit no more, nigga. I got a motherfucking axe. A fucking throwing axe, nigga. Nigga, this is my loadout, bro. This is my loadout. I got an axe, I got a silenced pistol, and I got a motherfucking double barrel shotgun, nigga. Every item is legendary, by the way. I have an implant that let me fucking the optical camo shit. I'm invisible, nigga. Then I got the shit that slow down time. That shit from Cyberpunk the show, where that nigga slow down time and he just moving faster. Yeah. And I got like my whole build is built around that, nigga. You're not gonna see me, and I'm moving too fast for you to even see it coming, nigga. I'm running around, fucking throwing axe, killing them, picking it up, throwing it at the next nigga. Whole time. By the time time returns to normal, nigga, everybody in the room dead. That shit is fun as fuck.
See, I think I had seen some implant like that. I think when you kill somebody, the duration lasts longer or some shit. I was gonna get that, but I wasn't sure if I can get more implants in that area. I think is it the arms? I feel like it's the arms or the hands, because I ended up getting them the mantis blades. So I was gonna get that, but right now my build is any headshot damage outside of combat. I'm doing I got at least 4 or 5 attachments that boost that shit, right? So I got that. I got this little pistol with a silencer on it, and I got a scope that boosts headshot damage. So nigga, I'm full stealth right now, low key. I'm full stealth. I got the perk, like if somebody notice you, the shit slow down for a couple seconds. Then you got, you know what I'm saying? You probably got about 7 seconds to figure out what you about to do. Nah, I'm probably exaggerating. It's probably like about 5 or 6. That's a hell of a difference in slow motion. But it's probably like 5 seconds for you to figure out what you about to do. And then I got a double barrel shotgun. I had a sniper, but I can't. I got that, was it Pan Am sniper? But I can't put no silence on that bitch. So I don't know. I just use that for like when I don't give a fuck type shit. And then I be alternating through like an AR or SMG just in case shit get out of hand. But I just use this katana. The other day I was just bullshitting, trying to see how many stars I can get. Nigga, I just used this katana. I'm about to switch my whole build up.
Every year we get NBA 2K, and it is a franchise that I have a very love-hate relationship with. I have to love it by the extension of it being the only NBA game that comes out every year, because monopolies and companies don't feel like it's worth the risk of making a traditional simulation-style NBA game. Now, of course, NBA 2K has been coming out on the Nintendo Switch. I checked out like the first few versions of it, but I quickly went back to the Xbox Series versions of the game because I mean, they just look and play a bit better. But with the Nintendo Switch 2, we had confirmation that NBA 2K26 would be coming to the system. So I was like, great, I can be my New York Knicks wherever I am and wherever I go. And I don't have to worry about anything. Yes, they're still doing a Switch 1 version of the game, but the Switch 2 version, that'll be good. That'll be in line with the current generation of the PS5 and the Xbox Series versions. Right? No. We learned this morning that according to the FAQ of NBA 2K26, that the version, the 9th gen version, as they are calling it, is only going to be on PlayStation, Xbox, and Steam, which pretty much is saying that the Switch 2 version of NBA 2K26 is going to be the same as the Switch 1 version, which is, of course, a now 10-plus-year-old engine that hasn't been modified and is just roster updates year after year after year. Why in the name of God are you doing that? You're doing WWE 2K25 on the Switch 2, and it's obviously more so in line with the current gen versions. EA is doing Madden on the Switch 2 that is in line with the current gen versions, but NBA 2K26, no, we don't have enough time. Bro, nobody buy this. Nobody buy this. This is ridiculous. We've learned that if a game is on the Xbox Series S, it can come to the Nintendo Switch 2. Virtuos, a powerhouse developer when it comes to porting things, pretty much told us that in an interview, saying, yeah, you know, they've got to do a little something, but if a game can run on the Xbox Series S, then it can pretty much run on the Nintendo Switch 2, and it shouldn't really be that big of a problem. NBA 2K is not that graphically intensive. There's not that much stuff going on. It's not that hard to get that sort of game running on another platform. What is it, the 60 frames per second thing that's a problem? These character models are not that detailed. There's still ball clipping happening. And ball clipping sounds really, really weird out of context. But still, like, this is ridiculous. No, this is half-assed, and I will not be buying NBA 2K26 on the Switch 2. I know I could review it, unless something changes, unless this was just a misspoken thing, and the Switch 2 version is going to be the current gen version that is available on things like the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series consoles. Because if it's that same crusty Switch edition, like, there's no point in buying it. You might as well just buy the Switch 1 edition, which will probably be cheaper because, of course, the current gen versions are $70. So I hope there is some clarification that ends up happening. I know, who cares about sports games? I care about basketball games, pal. All right? Let's go, Knicks. Let's go, Knicks. But besides that, now that I feel relieved that I got that little rant out of the way, I tried to tell you, folks. I tried to warn you. I tried. And unfortunately, a lot of people did not listen to me. Because people have this thing in life where they believe what they want to believe. They hear what they want to hear. If something sounds like something that they want to hear and that, you know, it makes them happy. That's what they want to hear. They don't want to hear anything that might be negative or goes against the grain with stuff like this. But I tried to tell you about this stupid Nintendo Direct happening this week. Of course, Nash Weedle lit the internet on fire by saying so this week in a tweet, and people jumped off the deep end. Everyone was making videos about the Nintendo Direct happening this week, and you know, a day went by, we didn't get an announcement. Another day went by, we didn't get an announcement. But Nash Weedle was there to clarify things, and boy, oh boy, you can listen to whoever you want, you can believe whoever you want, but you know, Nintendo Direct July from Nash Weedle. Right now, this is how. So now he's saying that this was about the Nintendo Direct, which I had questions as to whether or not it was, because it was very vague, and anyone can make a very vague tweet. Right now, this is how things are between the sources. 3 this week, 2 last week. Nintendo, are you playing Urgente? Nintendo Direct, and he made a short on it as well. But when he says last week, he's not saying like last week. He's saying the last week of July is when this is going to happen. So 3 people said this week, 2 people said last week. Maybe these people don't know what the hell they're talking about. Maybe your sources aren't as good as you thought they were. Maybe you don't know what you're talking about with such confidence. And so now everyone's like, oh, well, here, Nintendo may have simply moved the Nintendo Direct from last week to this one. Yeah, Hugo, because that's what they do. They just kind of willy-nilly stuff. There's no deals in place with developers or third-party publishers or indie developers about games that are going to be there. We, of course, have Nate checking in. I've said many times I'm not aware of a Direct for this week, nor will I play a guessing game for every week of the month. So Nate says, piss off, pretty much, pal. And, like, people are saying now, oh, well, it's because PlayStation announced the Ghost of Yotai event that's happening tomorrow on the 10th. Because, yeah, Nintendo really cares. Jesus Christ. Nintendo really cares about PlayStation doing an event for one game. For one game. A game that you're already aware of. So if you're not interested in Ghost, you're probably not going to watch this. You are also a PlayStation owner. So this isn't really, you know, this is something that you're probably going to buy anyways because, you know, PlayStation has had a bit of a quiet 2025 thus far. So this is like their big game for the year, at least what we know of. I'm sure Nintendo and Furukawa are sitting there like, oh, damn it. We wanted to do this Nintendo Direct this week, but Sony is coming along and doing a Ghost of Yotai State of Play. Yotai, I don't know how to say it. I'm a gaijin. But at the end of the day, I try to warn you people about false prophets. And look, I'm not trying to take shots at anyone. Okay, let's get that out of the way. People can be right about things. People can be wrong about things. I have been wrong about tons of things. But the thing is, like, when I'm wrong about something and when normal people are wrong about something, they will, you know, take a little bit of accountability and maybe change up how they do things. But when it comes to video game news, and this isn't just with Nintendo and Directs in general, but it's with everyone. When it comes to video game news, it's always just moving on to the next thing. People make a name for themselves online, basically giving out information and saying things that people want to hear. Now, whether or not they have sources or not, I don't know. And you don't know. We're just kind of, you know, a blind leading the blind situation here. And Nash Weedle may indeed have sources, but Nash Weedle has been right about things and has been wrong about a lot of things. And the things that people are wrong about just get swept under the rug, and we move on to the next thing. Is there going to be a July Nintendo Direct? I mean, it makes sense. You know, like I said in my video from earlier this week, it does make sense from the standpoint of, you know, there's still a lot of games to be dated. We still need information on a lot of games. Is there going to be a big holiday game for the Nintendo Switch 2? Or are they just going to go with, you know, Kirby Air Riders and Metroid and Pokemon Legends and stuff like that? Which they probably could do, but you would like to think that there is something bigger waiting on the horizon. So it does make sense from a time standpoint. And it's one of those things where it's like, you look at a calendar, you pick a week, and if you get that week right, Then all of a sudden you're an insider. Then all of a sudden you have all these sources and people start following you because people are quick to forget about all the times you were wrong. And like I said, I've been wrong about a million things, but I at least try to take some accountability and, try to change up how I do things based on that sort of information. Where on the internet, everyone has short-term memory. It's like Men in Black 2 or Men in Black 1. Look at the little thing, and then boom, your memory's wiped. And then all of a sudden, everyone's an insider. Everyone has all these sources. I do hope there is a July. Let's get that out of the way. I hope there's a July Nintendo Direct because I will make money on that, talking about it and talking about the games and doing the predictions video. Like that's good money. That's fun money. That's quick money. But I also understand that everything happens on its own time frame that Nintendo wants it to happen on. They're not just willy-nilly changing weeks. They're not just willy-nilly seeing PlayStation's doing something. Oh, we can't do anything now. That's not how it works. Okay, that's not how it works. But maybe you think it works differently. And if you think that, I mean, you're wrong, but whatever, dude. You can think whatever you want. That's fine. Oh, also, Saudi Arabia raised the price of the Nintendo Switch 2. So, thoughts and prayers to those in Saudi Arabia who are trying to buy a Nintendo Switch 2. That sucks. What can I tell you? Buy it early, I guess. But anyways, guys, that's all I got for you today. Let me know what you think of everything in the comment section down below. And as always, guys, thank you for checking out this video. If you are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Be sure to like, comment, and share. Hit the bell as
Wake that ass up early in the morning. The Breakfast Club.
So yesterday in court, this will be real quick because court was real quick. I didn't even make it. By the time it was like 7 to 10 minutes long, if that. They adjourned and decided that Diddy's sentencing date will be kept at October 3rd. Originally, as we talked about last week, Diddy's team was pushing for it to be expedited. And in a letter to the court, they had asked for a September 22nd date. But then they wrote another letter to the court saying that they're just conceding and they're going to be okay with the original October 3rd date proposed by the court. So
was Diddy in court yesterday?
It was virtual.
Oh,
so
okay.
it was all virtual. They were all via Zoom. It literally was him, his attorney, a deputy for the court, the prosecutors, of course, and it was really, really quick. Like, it was just like, hey, we have the letters. Here they are. Is there anything outside of the letters? No. Court adjourned.
So you was going to court? You said you were going to court yesterday. You were going to go all the way down there for virtual court?
Because you can hear it, and sometimes you'll hear things that like the court reporters won't tweet, or they don't tweet all the way because they're tweeting fast, or the minutes might have it, but you hear it differently in person. I like to hear it in person.
Gotcha.
It's like watching a show versus reading captions for a show. Yes, so that is that. And the reasoning, I know a lot of people are probably wondering why they decided not to, because that push was like, hey, we want this to be sooner because it's fresh in the judge's mind. We think we'll get some leniency if so. So people are probably wondering why they decided to go with the October 3rd date. You can infer from the conversation they had the day that he was denied bond that they probably know that the judge wouldn't be with it, because the judge agreed that Diddy should not have any bond because of what the prosecutors came down and said. They said, look, this is not exceptional. There's nothing exceptional about him except for, the crimes that he's openly committed, even knowing that the government had eyes on him. He does not care for the law. He is definitely a flight risk. He is a powerful man who basically has no constraints. And they tried to bring in the fact that, Kim Porter had passed away and his children don't have anybody. Like, they want to be with their dad. They should be with their dad at least until he's sentenced. And the government was not going for that. USA Comey ripped Diddy to shreds in front of the judge. And Diddy's attorney had to stand up and say, look, this is why we're lucky that we have jurors, because she went off. The judge agreed with it, though.
What's up?
Diddy's still locked up until the sentencing, October 3rd.
Okay.
I understand kids need their parents. I completely understand that. And that's why, as a parent, when you know you have kids, you should move a certain way, because anything that you do directly impacts them and can take you out of their lives in a split second.
And I'm also sure they said, the same person that watched them the last 10 months will be watching them until October 3rd. I'm sure they said that as well. So.
Yeah, I mean, it's just one of the things we talked about yesterday. It's like
still sad though, but
like
the
decisions that were made. So
that's right.
That's where it's at. So yeah, we'll keep. Of course, I'll keep you guys updated with anything prior to, because there'll be some small things prior to and after. Now, moving forward in other news, Dwight Howard in the recent divorce that was filed by his wife. Now, Amy,
Amber,
Amber,
her
my
name is
bad.
not Amy, her name is Amber.
Exactly. We actually have that clip here because he was here talking to you about
when I asked him about
Amber,
Amy, he's like, that's not her name.
I know her as Amy, but that is her stage name. Let's take a listen to Dwight Howard when he was here on the Breakfast Club, and then we'll get into Amber's statement about the divorce.
You know, I gotta ask because I'm a woman in the room. Are you legally married to my girl, Amy Luciani?
That's not her name, but
That's not her name. Amy Luciani, her name?
no, that's not like a rap name. That's a rap
She is
name.
actually a rapper. She is an artist, actually. So that's her rap name. Are you legally married to her?
We are.
Okay, that's what's up. I had to ask because, you know, it was reported that you guys were, but it was never no confirmation or anything like that. So I wanted to know.
Oh yeah, it's always some rumors, but just keep that side of my life private, so everybody ain't got nothing to say. Keep that private, and keep it moving.
Well,
we made us out right now.
I said private. It is not private anymore.
Amy?
So
what if they started calling her Amy after that? You ain't acting like Amber. You acting like Amy.
Yeah, so Amber, or Amy, as people might know her from Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, after she filed for the divorce, there's been conversations, speaking of rumors, there's been conversations about the fact that she filed for divorce only after 6 months of them being married, and people are basically saying she did it for his money. So Amber, or Amy, posted a statement yesterday, and she said that this was supposed to be a private moment. She says that she's always said to him, whatever you worked for is yours. I'm not that type of woman. She says that she actually has that in text. And she says she's the one who brought up a prenup first, and he declined. She says, I do not want any of his assets. I do not want half of anything that he earned or obtained before me. Not a car, not his properties, not his business. These rumors do not align with my character. Believe it or not, some of us women really date/marry for love. So she was clarifying some things.
Yeah.
How long they dated before they were married?
I don't think too long.
I'm not for sure.
I know it was actually leaked that they were
legally
dating. No, before they even got married, for real. Like, cause they were in a club and like they were hugged up in a club, and I think somebody had posted it like, "Oh, Amy Luciani is in here with Dwight Howard," and then the next day everybody's like, "Oh, all right," and then a couple weeks later they were married.
Yeah,
that's how it went. That's how I saw it on the shade room.
Well, I know Amy, or Amber, and when I talked to her, she said that she's devastated by this. It's not something that she wanted to happen. She didn't even want to make this statement, but she decided to. I woke up this morning and it was there.
So why was it? Do we know why it was divorced? Because it was so fast.
I can't say right now, but
you know, but you just don't tell us.
I don't know right now, but
What type of gossiper are you?
Yeah.
Because it's
you won't spill the tea,
and you know
it. And I got some ginger root.
Okay.
And some honey.
Okay, Kendrick. Okay, Kendrick.
That's crazy.
I just, people.
Don't tell us that you got tea and don't spill it, Lauren.
I don't have the tea.
She said not right now. I can't tell you right now.
Because she said she's not ready to get into that right now.
But you know.
And when she filed for divorce, she just said that it was irretrievably
broken. Wendy Williams would never. She'd have spilled it already. Ben splashed it all over the place. Miss Info would have been gave up the goods.
I don't. If I had it, y'all would know. I don't have it. We will be back with the update though.
But I'm pretty sure divorce is not easy for anybody. You know what I mean?
That's why I'm giving her some.
That's your girl.
Yeah, I'm hung out with Amy. I'm sorry, Amber. I've hung out with her. So yeah, I mean, she's a pretty cool person. But I was saying that Dwight was a pretty cool person too. From the 45 minutes to an hour that he set up here. I just commented, was like, nah, he's a pretty cool dude. And then Royce commented back to me, his ex-wife or something like that.
In the shade room, I saw that.
Yeah, it was like, I see you caught up too. Like, caught up in what? Baby, I got my own husband. The people that have relations with this man, that's your call. That ain't my problem, money. I don't know him in that way.
Well, that is the reality of the situation. Royce knows.
Spencer, what you doing?
But that would be weird for him to say that to you.
Yeah, why you saying it to me? I just said
you said it was interview.
Like, I just know him as the Dwight Howard basketball player I grew up watching. So I'm like, all right, Dwight Howard, he's a cool dude.
You can go.
But it is what it is.
It's crazy over there sitting on tea.
I'm not sitting on it. I don't have it. When I have it, we will know when she's ready to have a conversation about it.
She got it. She ain't got a poker face. That is the latest with
She
Lauren.
don't got nothing. I don't think she got nothing.
I don't.
She don't got nothing.
All right. That is the latest with Lauren. Charlamagne, who you giving your donkey to?
Somebody that Donald Trump wanted to deport. His name is Jose Luis Lopez Chique.
What?
What? He
Exactly.
already getting deported. You want to give him donkey?
No, I said somebody that Trump would deport. We'll discuss.
All right, we'll get to that next. This is the Breakfast Club.
Wake that ass up. Wake that ass up.
In the morning.
The Breakfast Club.
So I want to give a congratulations to Nas and
Damn.
Jay-Z. So separately, Nas right now is working with Resorts World New York City. They submitted a $5.5 billion bid to the New York State Gaming Commission to build a world-class resort casino in Southeast Queens. Nas posted a video on his Instagram where you see him walking through, and he opens up his briefcase, and there's like a licensing contract that he signs, and he's talking about it's time to invest in us because he is going to help with the expansion of that casino when it gets to Queens.
Phenomenal video.
Yeah, and it's an amazing video to see. Jay-Z at the same time, we've been having conversations about him and what he's doing in the casino business. They're putting his bids in for what they're bringing here to Times Square as well, along with SL Green and Caesars Entertainment. That will be that'll be a big deal as well. Him and Rock Nation are doing that as well. So
Yes, Rock Nation, SL Green, and Nas is with Resorts World New York City, I believe.
Yeah, I see Nas this weekend performing at Essence. Killed it. So salute to Nas. Queens, get the money.
It's 3 licenses, I think, being awarded. Why can't Nas get his in Queens and Jay get his in Times Square?
I don't know.
I'm sure they could, but I think there's a bunch of people trying to get the license. So it's not just them two. I think it's like 6 people.
Well, some people dropped out. No, yeah, one big company dropped out. I forgot. I can't remember the name.
So it'd be dope if one gets one in Queens and one in the city. That'd be great.
That is amazing.
Yes, congratulations to them. I was trying to see how the licensing breakdown works, but I don't know the answer to that. But I think it's just dope to hear them in conversation for these things, right?
Absolutely.
Now
Times Square needs it. Times Square needs it. I don't care what y'all say.
a lot of people don't believe that though.
Well, I don't believe those people. What other bright idea they got?
I don't know, but I've seen people push back against it.
Well,
Damn.
What are you gonna do to revitalize Times Square? Times Square got Broadway and what?
And them characters that be outside dressed up, that be taking pictures of people.
The roasted peanuts.
And probably some down low prostitution. Okay.
God.
It might be the people in the suits. I'm going out there and give Elmo $50 and see what he tickle you at.
See if he punish you. All right, get him. Sorry.
Well, in other New York City news, our girl Cardi B, yes, it is an old boy because over the weekend she scrubbed her Instagram clean of all of the photos with her and Stefan Diggs. So now reports are that there may be trouble in paradise. I have reached out to Cardi B's team trying to figure out what this means, and I have not heard back yet. But normally when this happens, there is something going on. So, of course, the fans grab that and they're trying to break down and digest what is happening. Stefan Diggs, however, does still have the photos up on his Instagram of, the swipe throughs with Cardi. There's been, back and forth online. And then Offset got unnecessary shots in this, too. People were trying to say that he was posting celebrating, and he had to clarify that he was not. He was celebrating his music.
He was celebrating right after this news drop.
Well, he was just on live playing his music. He was at a pool, and it's it's the holiday weekend, so people oh, he's celebrating. He's like, I'm celebrating my music. I don't even know what's happening.
I ain't gonna hold you. I was playing Bodies the whole 4.
Body's so fire.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Body's so fire.
Yeah, he's celebrating the music doing well.
You feel like the bag ain't get dropped behind Bodies yet, though.
Not like it should. It's not moving, especially over a holiday weekend.
I tell you what,
I think it will be
outside. That I've been hearing that record.
Yeah, Outside's rocking.
Outside is the summer anthem.
Yeah, Outside the rocking in the clubs, but Bodies is dope.
Definitely.
Bodies is really dope.
Well, in other celebrity relationship news, our girl Keisha Cole, remember she was up here talking about the tattoo she had?
Oh, yes.
Yes. So she had a tattoo from rap artist Honcho, and she talked about not being ready to remove it, but she has. Let's take a listen to her here on the Breakfast Club.
Are you single? Yes. Or is it complicated?
No, it's not complicated at all. Very much.
Dating?
I haven't decided to date again.
Not yet.
I take compliments. Thank you.
When he answered that.
Thank you for that. And then no, but am I ready to move on? No, I still got the tattoo here, so I can't. I feel like it's time. I don't know.
You love fast.
It's hard.
Wow, that's really
How do you know that?
I think I didn't even know. Coming from him, I think
imagine you coming from Angie Martinez sitting over there fixing the
You love fast.
And then
What
I
kind of
mean,
shit is that?
that's what you picked up over all these years. that
No,
you've been
you. I've seen you and you seem like you in love fast, like you love love. There's nothing
I
wrong with
think he means
that.
like you're locked into the love, like you're loyal to
Y'all don't
it.
know
You're
how
fully
long
in
she
it.
known these people before.
Lauren said she loves
Yeah.
love. There's nothing wrong with that.
Damn.
Lauren had my back.
Every-
Rest of y'all was frying me.
Every
Well, you
astray.
no, that wasn't a stray. You did that. It was. I know what you meant, but it sounded crazy on this
I
face.
said, you love fast.
Yeah, but there was a video of Keisha Cole getting a tattoo removed, and I actually reached out to Keisha Cole and spoke to her briefly on like why she decided to now get it removed because she said she wasn't tripping off of it. And what she wrote back to me was that she says that Hancho has kids coming, or like he's I guess building a family at this point, and
my God.
she wants to she doesn't want to be in the way of that. So all is well that ends well, and I think it just means she'd already moved on, but this is just I guess the last piece of that. So yep,
You have a whole family.
I don't know if it's a whole family. I don't know if it's a half
Right,
family.
half.
I just know what.
So she hit you back and said that?
Yes.
Damn.
Well, I had to get it deleted.
Y'all saw it. Go ahead.
I'm still thinking about Jay-Z and Nas both being part of bids to get casinos in New York City. Do you know how big that is? Tropical Clues bombs.
That is amazing. That's really big.
I don't think people understand because they're so rich and they be doing so much stuff. I don't think people get it.
Like they both submitted requests for proposals for something like that on the same. Well, everybody had to do it on the same day, but that's the architect of Reasonable Doubt and Illmatic. And they're both part of bids to get casinos in their hometowns in New York City.
Just think about it. They both came from the hood.
That's
Nas
big
from
business,
Queensbridge
man.
and Jay from Marcy and
Come on, man.
what they did with their music catalogs and
Come
how
on,
they
man.
turned it to big business with investments. Nas with Uber and Ring and
Who dating who is cute and who getting tattooed
Jay
who is
with-
cute, but God dang.
the liquor brands, Rock
All
Nation,
of it is
the
nice,
management,
though. All of it. And this is great.
and where they are
For
now
New
in
York.
life.
It's going to be real, real great. Even greater for New York. This is amazing. I love it.
No scandals around them.
Doing it.
Just two good brothers. I love it, man.
Yeah.
Oh, I liked all the news this hour. Though. I thought it was a nice little mixture of everything.
All right.
Yes.
Well, that is the latest for Lauren.
Yes.
Charlamagne, who you give that donkey to?
Man, let's talk conspiracy theories. Epstein list. Is it
Oh,
or ain't it?
they said it ain't.
Is it on
You just be
anal?
ruining teasers.
Uh,
You know what I'm saying? You be ruining teasers. But you know what? It's not your fault. That's why you need to have that check meeting. Okay? It's not your fault. It's the consultant fault, the program director for not having those conversations with you. Okay?
I thought you really didn't know. My bad.
It's the Breakfast Club. We'll be back.
Wake that ass up.
Earth in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.
You are a donkey.
What the hell? What the hell is
Some donkey days just saw themselves.
Oh man, Charlamagne, who you giving Donkey to do to me?
I just realized Rob Fortnite said, "What's the hee-haw?"
Yes, sir.
Oh,
Hee-haw?
I just realized it. Donkey today for Wednesday, July 9th goes to a 27-year-old Minnesota man named Jose Luis Lopez Chique. I'm telling you right now, Donald Trump might deport him, okay, with no due process. And I can understand why he would feel that way. I still think everyone deserves due process, but I understand why you would want to deport this demon without due process. Now, I am 47 years old, okay? I am at that age where I really hate people. Okay, I'm not quite sure when I started really not liking humans, but the older I've gotten, the more I get to know people, the more I realize why Noah only allowed animals on the ark. Okay, I completely overstand Noah because that is the only way to avoid creatures like Jose. See, Jose has been charged with second-degree murder because on June 27th, he decided to take the life of a young 22-year-old woman named Haley Arseth simply because she rejected him. Let's go to 5 Eyewitness News for the report, please.
A man is in jail tonight, now charged with murder in the death of a 22-year-old woman in Richfield. As we reported, Kaylee Arseth was found after being shot in her apartment last month. Today, Richfield police announced they arrested 27-year-old Jose Lopez Chique on Thursday. He's charged with second-degree murder. Court documents show Arseth and Lopez Chique recently met online and had been hanging out, but Arseth expressed she didn't want to be in a romantic relationship with him, only friends. On June 16th around noon, police say Lopez Chique bought several items, including tape, a mask, an apron, and gloves. And then around 3:30 p.m., his phone showed he was sitting outside Arceth's apartment texting her. About an hour later at 4:30, a neighbor told police they heard yelling coming from inside the apartment. The next day, officers went to her apartment for a welfare check and found Arceth's body and signs of a struggle. When officers arrested Lopez Chique near his home, they say he did not ask why he was being arrested, but told officers to hurry it up.
Lord have mercy. That's why women be online arguing about what's safe for theirs and me. Okay, RIP to this young lady, Kaylee Arceth. Fellas, please go to therapy to learn how to properly regulate your emotions. Okay, cognitive behavioral therapy focuses on teaching skills to manage emotions effectively, and boy, do we need it. Like, what's wrong with hearing the word no? Jose, I don't care how many gifts you bought this woman. I'm looking at the complaint, and it says Jose would, buy things for the victim, take the victim on shopping trips, but the relationship was not romantic or sexual. I wouldn't care if it was. Romantic or sexual, that still is not a reason to shoot and kill a woman execution style simply because she didn't want to holler at you. Simply because she told you no. Investigators saw the victim's computer, and it was logged into her Snapchat account, and they noticed that the victim and Jose had a best friend badge with a streak that had just ended. I have absolutely no idea what the hell that means. Okay, but I can guarantee it ain't worth killing somebody over. You tried to holler at her, Jose. She said no. She had you in the friend zone. She said to you, and I quote, "I'm only interested in a friendship," and did not feel a romantic attraction to defend it. Okay? By the way, my brothers, that don't mean it can't evolve into something else over time. Some of the best romantic relationships start when two people are friends first. It's actually great to have that foundation of friendship to stand on, but that also doesn't mean you should be trying to wear her down. Okay, perpetual persistence is not romantic. In fact, it can be kind of predatory because you are saying you are this person's friend, but you have ulterior motives. Okay, if you don't know how to, check that and truly just be friends, then it's probably best to move on. Now, when I look at these messages this young woman, Kaylee, sent to him, she was so emotionally intelligent and mature. Jose told her he wanted to see more effort from her in their relationship. They hung out, and Kaylee contacted Jose on Snapchat and said, "I did enjoy hanging out with you, but I don't have enough mental capacity for any type of relationship right now. I'm trying to figure out myself as well as manage my relationship with my parents, and I'm overwhelmed and stressed already." What a mature response. Okay, they had some more correspondence, nothing that would make anyone think he was about to go to her apartment and murder her, but that's exactly what happened. Okay, when police showed up, the victim was face down on her living room floor in a pool of blood from an apparent gunshot wound to her head. I would say this is a sign of the time, but this has been going on forever. Okay, some men simply can't deal with rejection. And as a father of 4 daughters, I pray that they never meet these kind of dangerous ass men. Okay, you have to teach people to not feel entitled to anything. It's the level of entitlement that makes people not be able to handle rejection. Fellas, you have to be able to hear the word no and move on. Okay? You want to know the problem? A lot of y'all never had to write a letter that says, "Will you go with me? Yes, no, or maybe." Gotta put the name on it. Okay, everything about that letter prepares you for rejection. You write it, okay, you got all the options laid out. You have to give it to her. There's a lot of preparation that goes into it, and it wasn't any assuming. Okay, you knew based on what she checked on that box whether or not you should take things further. Yes meant it was on and popping. Maybe meant it was a chance. No meant no. But you were prepared for all options, and if you got the no, you kept it moving and wrote another letter for another young lady. That's it. Okay? If she said no, Jose, so what? Heartbreak shouldn't turn to you being heartless. If your response to rejection is murder, then you're just not simply ready to date. Okay? Look, man, rejection hurts. Okay? It's normal. But what Jose did shows a complete lack of self-control. You handle rejection by feeling the emotion, processing it, talk it out with somebody, and use it as fuel to grow, not to destroy. Okay, if you can't cope with the rejection, talk to somebody, a parent, a therapist, a teacher, any rational adult that can stop you from making a permanent decision based off temporary emotions. Okay, rejection is not a crime, but violence is. She popped a balloon on you, and you popped her. That's not how that should work. Please give Jose Luis Lopez, she say, the biggest Seahawk, she say, whatever the hell his name is. prison inmate 765-79346.
But with no remorse, though, I'm gonna hurry it up at the time of arrest. Crazy.
Man, he's gonna be saying that for the rest of his life in prison.
Hurry it up.
When they hit me from the back, and they ain't gonna hurry either.
All right. Well, thank you for that donkey of the day.
Yes, indeed.
Now, when we come back, Edgar Berlanga will be joining us. He's fighting this Saturday in Queens, and we're going to talk to him next. So don't go anywhere. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning.
Donkey of the Day is sponsored by renowned personal injury attorney Michael the Bull Lamonsoff. Don't be a donkey when you need a fighter on your side. If you're ever injured, go to michaelthebull.com. That's michaelthebull.com. And when you mess with the bull, you get the horns.
Wake that ass up.
Earth in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.
There we go.
Oh man, pick my lane. What we got? What we got? Come on now, it wasn't that. I read the chat. Racial slurs.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ Envy, Just Hilarious, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. Now, if you're just joining us, we're talking about Love Island, one of the biggest shows on TV right now.
If not the biggest.
One of the girls got kicked off. Her name was Sierra Ortega. And
Bruh.
that's because she used a racial slur.
Who talking don't know what he talking about.
Charlamagne, you got the actual post of what she said?
Yes, back in 2015, she had just gotten Botox. So she said, Botox isn't for everyone, but I love it for me. I am incredibly expressive with my face, and I catch myself frowning for no reason throughout the day when I'm focusing on something or thinking too hard, LOL. I can also be a little slur when I laugh, smile, so I love getting a mini brow lift to open up my eyes and get that snatched look. This is not me encouraging, but more so sharing.
Right, so if you don't know, she's talking about her eyes being low, right? So we're asking 800-585-1051. What happened to Sierra? Should she have been kicked off of the show?
Well, what I'm realizing too, though, is somebody else had just gotten kicked off the show for using some type of racial slur.
The N-word.
Oh, what did they say? You niggery eyes?
No, I don't think they said you niggery eyes.
What did they say?
They probably just said nigger. Well, but let me see exactly what the person.
I don't know what the statement was. So I guess equal opportunity, right? But I guess to me it would be a difference between using the N-word and using that word. What you got? Is that the C word? I didn't know that was a thing. But I think it's a difference because in the case of her using it, she was using it as a descriptor for her.
Ain't no way.
Right.
And growing up listening to Wu-Tang used to use that word a lot. You know what I mean? Like not as a racial slur either. They would use it to describe, how their eyes look after smoking weed a lot of times.
Right. But as a kid, a lot of people, even with me, I had what term can I use now? I had what can I say? Cat eyes? Is cat eyes fine? I had quote unquote cat eyes, so they would always say my eyes look like that.
You want to be everything but black.
I don't. But that's what they used to say about my eyes.
So what happened? They just opened up one day and what happened? What are you talking about?
They still a little.
No, they not. Not at all. Well, you want to be Dominican. You want to be Asian. You want to be everything but you. Why can't you just be who you are? Be gay and Dominican.
Hello, who's this?
No, what's happening? It's Marcus from Duval.
Marcus, what's up, man? Talk to us. What's your thoughts, Marcus?
Honestly, as a black man, I do not care. She was talking about herself, describing her. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, y'all was just saying it was in a rap song. Who that was? Snoop Dogg.
Wu-Tang.
Snoop Dogg said it in a rap song on Holiday Inn.
You did? Oh, you did?
Yeah. When he was, his eyes was the slur, and he was with Chingy at the Holiday Inn. Like, man, no harm, no foul. Everybody always offended when something happened to somebody of a different race, but don't nobody care when it happened to black people. So I don't care.
That is true. I guess for me, man, I wish that the conversation was had. I don't know what the other girl said. I don't watch the show, so I don't know what the other girl said in regards to the N-word. So I don't know how it was used.
She said it on the podcast, but like you said, I don't know how it was used as well.
Yeah, I need to know how it was used.
What?
But to this, I'm gonna be honest with you. I agree with our last caller.
What?
I don't really care if Asians say that they upset about it and she got kicked off and she stepped down.
But if she didn't use it as a slur and she used it to describe herself, right? Whatever happened to conversations? Like, nah, that's not what we do, and the reason why we don't have conversations anymore. We just quick to cancel somebody and throw them off a show.
Well, maybe it wouldn't be fair if she didn't get kicked off, but the other girl got kicked off. Then it might not be fair.
What happened?
If the other girl got kicked off and they didn't kick her off and had a conversation with her, and people would be like, well, why didn't you have a conversation with the girl that said the N-word?
All right, well, let's be honest. How can you use the N-word in a way to describe something? Right? Now, have you heard that before?
It's some powerful niggatry at work here.
Well, yeah.
It don't got to be black.
Nah. What do you mean? If you describe something, you're implying that it's black. If you're describing something niggery, then yes, it's
right. And but you use that term, you're not describing, right? It's
yeah. What do you mean? It depends. This is a very broad. The word ink is very is much more broad. You know what I mean?
I need to see what the woman said.
We didn't know that. You just read it.
No, I'm talking about the woman that used the N-word.
Like, I can't, there's no way to use the N-word in a way that's...
Yeah. Like, I didn't know
that's not true. What if you're using it as a term of endearment? Like how we, when we make excuses for using it, what if you're doing it like that? What if you're rapping a song?
Yeah.
What if you're a white girl and you're
now,
rapping a song?
If she was rapping a song and she got carried away, you just be like, hey, don't say it. You don't cancel her if she's rapping a song.
What if she was on a podcast and she was like, she referring to one of her other white girls and she was like, yo, this my girl right here. I don't know. I mean, by the way, I don't know.
Or what if one of them get their lips done and they be like, oh, your lips are looking really good.
That's a little too far. We have Linda on the line. Linda, good morning.
Good morning. How's everybody?
Good. Now, Linda, you're Korean American?
I'm Korean American.
Okay. So what do you think about it?
So, honestly, I think that she should not have gotten stopped. I know that it's like 2015, so I get it, like...
Can you take us off Bluetooth or speaker so we can hear you a lot better? I'm so sorry.
She driving?
I'm driving to work.
Girl, you better be careful.
Okay. I know it. So anyway, yeah. I feel like she should not got kicked off, but she should at least apologize. I think it is for being Asians that we are pretty sensitive when it comes to that word. I mean, I used to use that word back in the day. And my family, like my husband is Puerto Rican from New York, so I know that, that word was used a lot. But I don't think she should have been kicked off.
See, I agree with you, and I think sometimes teaching people, especially when people have been raised saying, we use that term when we describe somebody's eyes or somebody smoking or low eyes. That was a term. Not until I got a lot older did I realize it was a racial slur. But as a child, it was just used, and I think sometimes we need to have those teachable moments without canceling somebody right away.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So I feel the same. Like because that's my generation too. Like we used a lot of different words back in the day.
Like what? The N-word? You ever use that one?
No.
but even there's a gay slur that was in every rap.
Like what?
Which one?
Crazy.
The one that rhymes with maggot.
Fraggle maggot?
Yes, man. Was in every rap. And people used it all the time.
Fraggle maggot.
And now
it rhymes with Maggie. That was the one that we, Maggie.
Fraggle maggot.
Am I lying, Linda?
Yeah, no, that's the truth. You're right. Even like the R word, like people are more sensitive.
What R word?
Now we gotta bring back retarded though.
So you can't use it.
No. That one. I'm telling y'all right now, I'm never giving that one up. Okay.
I know, man. I just
that's Charlamagne's word.
I'm telling you, you gotta use it because what if there's no other way to describe some people.
Last time you said they called up and they was upset with you.
They called up.
That never happened.
What is it?
That never happened.
It did.
By the way, the crazy thing about all of these slurs, at least for me, I can't speak for everybody.
Okay.
Growing up, we never used the slurs for who I guess they were intended for.
Right.
Like you never called a gay person a gay slur. I never did.
You
call your homeboys that. You know what I'm saying? You never called.
Same thing with the read. We never called.
We didn't call actual people with mental disabilities the R word. No, we called your homeboy.
He be here right now.
Yeah. Yep. That'd be crazy if somebody walked up to somebody Asian and was like, "Oh, you guys are," they'd be like, "What?"
My dad did call me a maggot one time, a Fraggle maggot one time though.
It was something that you was a Ciroc boy. You used to wear jeans with your ass out.
No, the earring. I had an earring. I got an earring when I got an earring. My dad sat me down. But anyway, 800-585-1051. Let's discuss. This young lady was kicked off of Love Island because she said a racial slur in describing her eyes. She was describing her eyes and she used it on Twitter, I think in 2015.
Describing her own eyes.
Should she be kicked off the show? Let's discuss this. The Breakfast Club. everybody, it's DJ NV, just hilarious. Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. Now, if you just joining us, we're talking about this young lady that got kicked off of Love Island. Her name is Sierra Ortega. Now, she was describing her eyes in a 2005 post. 2015 post where she was talking about Botox, and she said her eyes look a little rhymes with Binky.
Now I'm learning more because everybody watches Love Island. Everybody I know watches Love Island.
Sure. Correct.
The young lady Yulissa Escobar, she got kicked off Love Island because they pulled up clips from her
on a
her
podcast.
old podcast where she used the N-word
excessively.
Well, I can't tell who's who. I don't know which one is. They both look like. Is that racist for me to say?
Hell yeah, that's
racist. I don't know who's Yulissa, who's not Yulissa. But there's two girls. Which one is Yulissa? Sid?
None of them are black,
is this
by
Yulissa?
the way.
They're both Latino. It seems
They're
like.
both Latino.
Okay, so Yulissa uses it the first time, and she's referring to one of her homegirls, and she says, "Are you that N-word? Whatever, whatever." Let's play the clip.
Are you that nigga that controls what she wears? Or right, you fuck my perfect, but that's it. Like now I'm fucking my he's my like vibe.
All right, so we're asking 800-585-1051. Should she be a
Damn.
Now,
I don't think either one of them should.
I will say this: in New York, growing up, Spanish people use the term nigga.
Yep.
And it's not a thing because
Yeah, we about to
that's how we
fumble.
grew up.
No, we good. We good.
We all grew up together. I know in certain places that doesn't happen. I know in California, I know Mexicans.
Damn,
use
that
the
nigga
term,
dropped the
and
people.
That's how they grew up.
Yeah.
So when you hear a Latino person, I mean, J-Lo said it, Fat Joe says it.
I ain't never heard J-Lo say that.
Yes.
Oh my
Yeah, that's a big thing. It was in that song.
Yeah. So when you hear it, it's not.
Yes!
Not new because that's how we grew up in New York. Like, it really is not.
Hold on, did we get that? I thought we got that.
Saying that she's owning her mistakes. She's speaking her truth. She didn't know better back then. She knows better now. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, like she wasn't using it as a racial slur. She wasn't talking. You know what I'm saying? That you can tell she was just comfortable. She was, although they had mics and all of that stuff. It was a podcast. She was referring to somebody she was dealing with.
No, I'm saying I don't give a damn as far as like you don't care about either story. Here's the thing: if they got kicked off, cool. If they didn't get kicked off, cool. But I do